Well, everybody already knows that about the whole Nicki Minaj situation. And if you've just been out of the news, so let me just sort of catch you up about roughly a few days ago. Nicki had put out into the ether some vaccine hesitancy. There was some claims that was made. What was it? Like her friend's sister, some type of bullshit or whatever.
No, it was like
Basically,
her friend of her brother, s- something like that's. I think it was her brother's friend or something like that in Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the tweet and see if I can actually find find it. Oh my god, like she got so many fucking tweets up here.
Oh yeah,
But
man. Hey, look,
basically,
she was going on like a Twitter storm, basically trying to defend herself, and then then was like, "Oh, these people coming for me, and they don't even know all the information and this and that." It was a mess. That's what I would say.
yep, man. So basically, somebody. So let's just say somebody's genitalia got a little bit swollen, and they directly attributed that to the vaccine.
Oh man.
Somebody's
So
she got like,
yeah, all right. Let's ask a question. Eric, you know, you got the vaccine, correct?
yeah.
All right. Did your man figure all of a sudden just grow a few inches that day, like the heart of the Grinch?
Nope. Nope. Nah. And I'm pretty sure I would know. I mean, it is my junk. But I did actually manage to find a tweet. So it says, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His tentacles became away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure that you're comfortable with your decision and not bullied, even though she didn't put it in there, not bullied. Now, I do want to like add for some people who may need a further context. So I mean, from that you can already tell that somebody's testicles got swollen, and she's directly attributing that to the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, if you go through a lot of her other articles and even her Instagram video, I think she did a live video, and the depending upon which time of the video you was like watching it, she was saying that she had some thoughts that she wanted to put out there for the vaccine. Some thoughts on the vaccine. She had some opinions and she had some questions.
Okay.
Now, from that tweet that I just said, that I just put out there, does that really sound like a question or really an opinion that she's really putting out there?
No,
Like she claims?
it sounds like absolute. This is what can happen, which brings in my issues. Is that you do have some of these celebrities, which I'm like, okay, fine. I'm not saying that people can't have opinions about vaccines, etc. But when you just throw things out there that are just untrue, then that's a problem. And I think that's where we are currently. It's the same thing when people were saying that the was it the MHR? I think is that the one, the measles, and I forgot. It's one that's like combined all together, and they were attributing that to um, basically infants getting uh, what was it? Dang, hold up, Down syndrome or something like that. Now the problem with that is by the time that those things are kind of discovered is around the time that you get that vaccine. So it kind of clearly shows that when it comes to humans, we are not really good with pinpointing precise, accurate information in some kinds because we attribute things and then something can all of a sudden happen. Like for instance, you can experience a cold and have the symptoms because symptoms of a disease actually take time, and you can then have something and then say, oh dang, maybe I shouldn't have had that Big Mac because all of a sudden when I had that my stomach started tripping, and it's like, but you probably were already experiencing something before but you didn't realize it until this event happened. So that's I don't know. It sound like her cousin's friend may have a story to tell his old lady, and how he may not have been fully truthful, and that type of stuff. You might want to, you might have a story to tell.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of the thing. Like, it's the correlation fallacy that we sometimes find people in, is that, and QAnoners, whether or not you're a flat earther or whatever, this is not something that is unique to people that we would probably call crazy or conspiracy theorists or whatever. This is something that universally happens across like all human beings. It's a pattern recognition. Yeah. And like sometimes people attribute things to other things that may not necessarily be connected, but they have fabricated this in their mind to believe in this. Now, to Nicki, I will say this. I do not have an issue with you asking questions, but that tweet, that's not a question. No, you are making that's a statement. Now you are making a positive claim. Don't try to like sit here like on your Instagram live video and try to like make yourself out to be this sort of like victim. You're not a fucking victim. You weren't stating, it may have been, in retrospect, in your eyes, it may have come off like, oh, it's your opinion. But when I'm reading this is not so much an opinion as much as you're attributing one thing with another, and you're claiming that the swollen testicles are directly attributed to the COVID vaccine. And you may have intended that to come off an opinion, but that actually looks like you're making a claim that one was caused by the other. And no, like you're not a victim. And you should just like stop, because you basically have put yourself in a trap that you can't necessarily get out of. And you're going around talking about you're being bullied, and you're not the one. You're talking about a number of people are coming after you, and a lot of prolific figures are coming after you, like Joy Reid.
Oh yeah. I think Joy Reid actually did a segment about her on was that MSNBC or CNN? Which one is she on?
Yes. Yeah, and first of all, I am no fan of Joy Reid. No, I don't give
absolutely not. Like the way that she went after Bernie over BS reasonings. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, she's clearly a grifter. She didn't support Medicare for all until after Bernie Sanders effectively lost the 2020 presidential race, and then all of a sudden she wants to tepidly come out for no. I'm sorry. Let me take that back. She didn't support Medicare for all up until roughly about 2018, when she spent years all throughout the 2016, 2017, and then roughly around 2018, she started to slowly come around to that. But then she basically flipped and then used that against Bernie in 2020 all over again. It was such a ridiculous thing. But Joy Reid, in this particular instance, as much as I don't give a fuck about that, she has a slight point, but I do want to articulate it a little bit better, because Joy Reid was saying that you have a very big platform and you're using it to spread misinformation or vaccine hesitancy. And Joy Reid said it's a blessing. I don't call that I don't call the fact that you have, I don't know what that means, over 20 million followers a blessing. That's just how our system is set up.
Yeah, I mean, she's a celebrity, therefore people are going to want to follow her and see what she's talking about. So I don't really attribute that to anything else. But there is that big question of platforming and about how important it is. And I know we like to get in this, free speech argument, but there are some questions where you got to start asking when it comes to you having a large platform. How much does that attribute to how people associate information? Because we can have situations where you, Nicki, knowing that especially when it comes to like the black community, a lot of us are already hesitant anyway because there's some historical implications there. And so coming out with this, and then because people are going to attribute this as, oh well, he's black, Nicki's black, therefore this is an attack against black people, or that black people may not be more susceptible to this. And it's like, these are the conversations that you're leading yourself to. And I don't know, I have problems with it. I don't know, I'm kind of weird when it comes to that type of stuff, because I'm like, yo, you got to be responsible when you're speaking to people, and if you're actually trying to be objective and say, hey, I really don't know, but this is a situation that occurred, that's a better type of narrative than saying, well, I'm asking questions. Somebody said they ain't getting it because somebody's balls swelled up like the Elephant Man face. It's like, that's okay. You're like, what? And we guys, for some reason, we're all infatuated with our man piece anyway. They definitely not going to do anything that's going to potentially jeopardize that. So I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah. And going further down the rabbit hole, I mean, I'm seeing some of her other tweets where she was talking about like Joy Reid, calling her and Tamiana and all that. I've never actually heard the term Tamiana.
I haven't either. That's a new one on me.
Don Lemon, she called him an Uncle Tamiana. But okay, so basically, it's just another way of calling somebody.
Another way of saying Uncle Tom. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's not helpful either, because I don't know. It's
this thing. So like in her tweet, she said, this is what happens when you're so thirsty and go after another black woman. Okay, so first of all, to Nicki, you were making these remarks towards Joy Reid.
Who's happens to be a black woman?
First of all, you stupid ass. Not all black people are not a monolith. You should fucking know this by now. It's totally possible. You were saying that she was going by the request of the white man to go after you. That's what you said in your tweet.
Yeah,
it is potentially possible. It's also possible that she has just a different point of view, and your comments are kind of all over the place, because for some people, they may read some of your comments as like, well, you're not necessarily anti-vax, but you do have a habit of spewing anti-vax propaganda or anti-vax hesitancy, which to a lot of people that can be looked at as the same. So,
I mean, yeah, because
you're
people
not
are already
anti-vax. You're not anti-vax, but you spew anti-vax hesitancy and propaganda also at the same time. Oh no, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm also saying that it's bad. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, it's that fake middle of the road type conversation. Like, oh, I'm just asking questions, bro. Like, it's literally that.
Taking this more libertarian role where, like, look, this is all about a matter of individual choice. It's individual choice, and people should be able to choose after they come to their own conclusions. Maybe they need to do their own research. Now, she did say research. She's going to come to her own conclusions based upon the research. Now, okay, so here's kind of the thing, though. You throughout life already subscribe to an authority figure throughout your career, throughout your childhood. There's going to be things that are way beyond your understanding that you're going to have to like give some sense. You're going to have to trust some of the information that's being given to you.
Yes.
Whether or not how to construct the COVID-19 vaccine. That is a field of expertise that is way outside of my area of expertise.
Yeah, it's beyond
rapper.
It's beyond the scope of the average person. That's the problem that I have when people say, do your own research. Okay, How about this? Hey, average Joe or Jane, do your own research on quantum physics and astrophysics. Astrophysics. You wouldn't know where to start. Or hell, just do some basic anatomy and physiology. Most people can't even tell you. Hell, most people can barely tell you how their own junk works. You mean to tell me that we're all supposed to be able to determine what's, vaccine efficacy and how vaccines work and so on and so forth? We're not equipped with that type of knowledge. This is also why we have specialization. People who do look at these matters for a living. And we've gotten to that point, and I'm not saying that you just got to trust things with zero regard, but what I'm saying is we have to be consistent with that, because no one asks anything else in these regards. You hop on a plane and don't ask how they fly. You're trusting, like, if people will say, well, I'm trusting my health in this. You're trusting your health in a lot of regards. You don't ever consider it because it's something about your, that's a part of your daily life. So I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I guess that's always been my problem with the whole do your own research. I'm not saying that you can't be informed about things, but the idea that your average person is going to be able to go out and do actual research, or is actually knows how to do research, that's my problem.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And even Breitbart had made an article about this, which I'm pretty sure you already saw. But in the headline, it said, "Rap star Nicki Minaj rebels against the Democratic Party control of Black people. Don't tell me I can't agree with the Republicans." So, this is kind of the situation that you just set yourself up for. Now, that's a literal quote from her Instagram live video. Don't tell me I can't agree with the Republican. You just fell for the common trick by retweeting Tucker Carlson. Although, to be fair to you,
God.
You did actually kind of tepidly denounce him later on after you found out he was a white supremacist. Whatever. You did tepidly denounce that, but whatever. But you said, like, don't tell me I can't agree with the Republican. And throughout her tweets, she talked about the humanity of people and how there's the issues of the dichotomy that exists between the Democrats and Republicans. About you have a two-pronged choice, and really that's kind of a problem in our political system. That is a little bit of that is how I interpreted that tweet, even though the way that she put it out there was a little bit weird, but it is a valid criticism to also make. She also talked about in their Instagram live video, if you would really care about healthcare, then you would actually make that free. You would actually make healthcare free. You would put your money where your mouth is, which, okay, that's not necessarily wrong. Now, I have not followed much of her political commentary, but
I don't think she has a political ideology. I guess that's my issue.
But to say that in the context of this controversy, I mean, the vaccine is already free. So what exactly are you really getting at here? I mean, if you're trying to call out a hypocrisy of the health industry and even some government officials, that they try to like make it seem like health is a priority. It is a need. It is an essential function. Essential health is a necessity. And if it is, then you would make that available to everybody for free without a for-profit barrier.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But narrowly speaking, in this particular matter, the vaccine is free. So what is there to be asked? And plus, like, she also said in an Instagram video that there will be people being able to access Fauci is pretty much a no-go unless you're pretty much a celebrity. You wouldn't be able to get on a phone call with Fauci and just be able to ask him all these questions.
Okay.
And she's right. You can't really just get on the phone and ask people like Fauci all these questions that you might have for him. But at the same time, it's like, you wouldn't need to call Fauci for some shit like that. Call your fucking doctor.
Yeah, it's
Like,
he's not the only doctor that exists, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Because you can just talk to yours, and they should be able to provide the same information that somebody like Fauci has. Like, I don't understand the comment. Like, what are we talking about? And again, this is one of those moments where it seems like she's throwing retort just for retort's sake. And I'm rebuttaling you, not because I have actually, real actual criticisms. Now, granted, the whole thing about, hey, if healthcare is really that important, it'll be free. Hey, by all means, let's do it tomorrow, if possible, which I doubt, but still. Would she really be on board with that? Because then, with that same breath, which it wouldn't happen, but if for some reason they're like, yeah, we can make healthcare free, but we got to raise taxes by X percentage. Oh, no, we can't do that. What about freedom? It's like, wait, hold up. You just said, and of course, this is, I'm probably straw manning the mess out of this because I don't know her ideology, but people who tend to be in her tax bracket tend to react that way when it comes to, hey, technically we need people who make this amount to pay this percentage. Then it becomes a problem.
Yeah. So like her comments are very shallow. It doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, a lot of people can make the same assessment on what the problem is, but they're the way that they go about solving it could be drastically different. Oh, well, just provide it for free. Okay, well, it needs to be paid for. So we're going to tax you a little bit more. Wait, no. Why don't you tax the unhealthy people more or some bullshit like that?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to tax the working people more, or maybe we need to have like a 2-tier system like that. Something that's largely paid for by the working middle class or something like that, or poverty stricken, something like that. I mean, it's a lot of different things, but she was right in one of her comments where she was talking about like Tucker Carlson came out and basically backed her up and was like, hey man, like she has a right to basically ask these questions. Now, for a number of people who were saying like, hey, yo, be careful because like dudes are white supremacists. And she did tepidly like, reject that and denounce that. But at the same time, she said, don't tell me I can't agree with the Republican. Now, this is to clarify on what some people may not necessarily understand about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is one of those people who has talked about the great white replacement theory.
Yes.
Basically, immigrants, all these black and brown people coming in, changing the demographics,
changing the voting stuff. Your country turns to trash, etc. Yeah, very much aware.
Yes. And those comments are basically made absent of the fact that there is a lot of conservatives. If you separate out the United States, the citizens, a lot of these immigrants are actually very, very conservative. This would actually largely benefit him. And for somebody like Tucker Carlson, you would think like somebody like him would actually know something like this. But, hey, he still subscribes to the white replacement theory. That is the person that you just double checked and say, hey, man, that's my boy, hey, he came out and he supported me or whatever. And like, don't tell me I can't agree with the Republican. Bitch, look here. First of all, he just got through having Candace Owens on his show after this to comment on your whole situations.
Yeah, and did she have beef with her at one point?
I'm not sure if she had beef with specifically Nicki Minaj, but she did have beef with Cardi B. And the whole thing about Cardi B was just like nominally leftist. I mean, she was definitely a Bernie Sanders supporter. And she made a lot of left-wing comments. She wanted to debate people, Chris Evans, Cardi B, whoever the fuck, AOC. Anytime that somebody says anything even like that can be even construed as left-leaning, Candace Owens wanted to go out there and debate this person. That is how this whole grift works, is once you say something that is like tepidly offensive, not even like directed towards Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson, they will throw your ass under the bus they will call you part of the Hollywood elite,
Of
denounce all
course.
of y'all, saying it's some kind of like elaborate. This is how Hollywood is or whatever. But then once they find somebody in there, somebody who slightly agrees with them, they jump all on fucking board
And
with that Hollywood figure.
and I
And
think that's
Nikki,
that's
you're
her
not
being,
immune to this.
yeah, I think that's her being very um inexperienced with this. And that is becoming the issue there, because I mean it's similar to that whole situation with Ice Cube, where he was like, well, one group said they weren't going to talk to me and another one chose to. And it's like, bro, do you realize, like, just because someone said they will talk to you doesn't mean it's legitimate. Like, you have to understand the grift before you start agreeing to these types of things. And then again, let's also keep it real. Tucker Carlson has the vaccine. He's had it. He works at Fox, required their employees to have the vaccine. So even him saying he agrees with you is bull. I'm pretty sure he was one of
Yeah,
the first people up for it.
yeah. Like first of all, like Nikki, you're not even operating in the same on the same planet as Tucker Carlson. Now, not to say that you can't agree with the Republican. That is totally fine. There are grifters all over the place. There's grifters in the left wing, just how there are grifters in the right wing.
Of
Tucker
course.
Carlson is one of those. Don't think that Tucker Carlson is like double checking you. You stupid bitch. He is using you. He's not. He doesn't have any hesitancy about the COVID vaccine because he already got it. It
He
is
got
like
it.
Quentin said. It is a part of the policy that you have to have it at Fox News. You are just one of many people on the long list that just became a story. And he hopped on it, and you are being captured into a movement that you stupidly had no idea, not even stupidly, just ignorantly
Yes.
just inserted yourself into, thinking like, oh man, if I agree with this person on this particular issue, then I'll give them a pat on the back. If I disagree with them on that, I'll disagree with them on this issue. And it's the same with Democrats. I may agree with you on this and disagree with you on that. But not everybody is an honest actor like that. It's not even necessarily even a matter of whether or not somebody has a bad idea or a good idea. Some people just have ideas that they're putting out there just for the sake of making money.
Uh,
And that's just how it's the same thing with fucking rappers. Sometimes it's like when you look at Lil Nas X, I mean, some people have their opinions about the situation, but some people like,
hey.
bro, like he's clearly doing that. He's clearly making up this controversy,
Oh yeah. Like
dancing
my
on
guy
a devil.
is. Hey, my guy is a troll. Like he troll better than I do. I was like, God damn, bro, this is fantastic. I need to take some lessons. But all it
Yeah,
is it drives more, like, because nobody was talking about him a year ago. Like he had that one hit song, and then that was kind of it. Now everyone's talking about him, and y'all keep hating him. And hey, look, he gonna keep trolling you, and he keeps getting more. So is you hate him? Oh well, he gonna make money off your ass. And
yeah,
by all means, have fun. But it is one of those things, like when it comes to the political scape, and this is kind of where that whole thing of media training comes in for a lot of people, because what I was saying is that it's one of those situations where a lot of people are just not aware of how this game goes. Again, I use the example of Ice Cube when he was allegedly trying to talk with Donald Trump about the black contract or whatever that was, which again, you start asking questions like, we always assume that all black folks are on the same page, and I'm sorry, um, Jim Clyburn proves us wrong every day. That's not the, like. Well, he proves that that's not the case every day. Every time he decides to poke his head into some matter, like again, he tried to say, "Well, I can negotiate down the infrastructure bills." Like, man, go sit your old ass down somewhere. Why have you went off somewhere like just to be anywhere
yeah.
else? But anyways, people like Nicki, like, it's not the same as rap. It's not the same as like having a general conversation with somebody where it's like, oh yeah, I agree with you, bro. Yeah, I agree with you too, and that's that. It's not that type of situation. You're being used as a political pawn now, and so many people never really know when that's the case. and it makes sense because it's hard for the people to like actually know, especially if you've never been in that realm before.
No, absolutely not. No, and not to say like going back to what I was saying about Lil Nas X, not to say like some of his performances and his intentions weren't at least genuine or whatever, but like it all is wrapped into one. It's all wrapped into one another. It's
It
how
plays
the
out the
game
same.
goes.
That's just pretty much it. It just plays out the same.
Yeah,
And
and with her, like I got a vibe like when I was listening to her, I was like, man, this sounds almost exactly like my fucking mom, bro. Like, oh my
boy,
god, it's like I love my mom, but goddamn, sometimes it's just something else. Sometimes, so, like this whole like Uncle Tamiana and smart black woman, like this isn't particularly smart. Like, yeah, to some degree, there are some people out there who actually don't like intelligent black people or intelligent black women, or just a little bit of both. But you're not doing anything that is particularly like you're not some crusader going out there. I'm asking the hard hitting questions. Like, no, you're not asking the hard hitting questions. Not. You started off with a positive claim that may have actually resulted from a fucking STD or some bullshit like
most
that.
Likely.
And
like almost 90% most likely that's what happened. But he can then point to say, oh no, I just recently got that vaccine, man. That gotta be it. Because I'm not gonna tell my lady I'm out here doing my own thing. That's so yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like that shit is stupid. So I do want to make it clear that I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing to ask some questions. But don't sit here and say, well, I need to go ahead and do some research. First of all, what research are you gonna do? You gotta read a few fucking articles.
You're gonna either read articles. You're not gonna go look at the scientific studies because one, they're boring and they're hard reads for your average person. And then of course most people go into the preconceived notions that everyone within that practice and within that field is on some nefarious stuff anyway. So you're already going to disregard that. So what most people's research ends with some memes, random person X online who claims that they know somebody who knows of someone who did blank and has the inside scoop. It's which leads you to other things like it's easy to fall into conspiracies because a person who is the average person doesn't know, and that's just the reality of it. We don't know, and so when you have to rely on an institution that, government has a lot of itself to blame in this regard as well. When you have an institution that's so shaky that people are willing to listen to random guy with the microphone or random guy who happens to have a Facebook account says one random thing or makes a meme, and people take that hook, line, and sinker. What does that say about our institutions?
It means that they're failing. Shit, they have failed, and there's a lot of reasons to distrust our institutions. Now, I would hope that she's not an advocate for the abolishment of some of these institutions because these institutions
we need
are kind of the only thing that she would.
Yeah, we need healthcare. We need people to pay attention to disease, or resisting disease, I guess you could say. So no, but maybe actually having some ethics within them. I don't know. I've actually asked that too. No, it's actually it's funny because I was talking to a buddy of mine I work with, and I forgot how the conversation was going, but I had brought up something along the lines of if we really think about it, how come politicians, lawyers, judges, media personalities, why aren't they required under law to sign and commit to some type of ethics oath that basically thou shalt not lie openly, thou shalt not obfuscate, thou shalt not blank, whatever. It doesn't matter. List goes on. And it's kind of even you take the January 6th situation, which I think there was some protests going on with that too. Wasn't that?
Wait, some protests going on with what?
the January 6th, because I guess there was some hearing or something like that, and there was supposed to be some far right protests that was supposed to go on.
Yes, that was actually going to be what we were talking about next. You talking about the Justice for J6 rally?
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted like it looks like the Justice for J6 rally could have been an email, because when you look at some of them pictures, it's like, damn, bro.
Oh, damn, nobody showed up.
I mean, they had people show up. It just wasn't really many people as the original January 6th. And
I guess people said,
look,
screw
it
that.
Like the cops were ready. The cops were ready this time. God damn.
Oh, they actually clipped up on some white folks?
I don't know if they clipped up, but looking at these pictures, they was like, oh, yeah, we know you coming. We know you here. And oh shit, they got some cops right there in the background too. Oh goddamn, they got some up front. They got some behind them. They're like, oh yeah, go ahead and do something stupid right now. Go ahead and do something stupid.
Oh God,
we ready for you.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's interesting, but it makes me more sympathetic towards those people, because when you think about it, this is the part that government never wants to really acknowledge, is that they have driven people to be so untrusting of our political system, our government, our institutions, etc., to the point that people are willing to say that the earth is flat than to trust something like NASA. People who just study the skies for a living. Okay. We're willing to say that voting is fraudulent because I don't trust these institutions. Now, granted, you did have a hardcore grifter as well as demagogue in office who perpetuated this. Yes, that is a problem. But then again, you got to ask the question of, how did we get to the point where he was able to obtain power? Like, where are these advisors who are sitting there saying, hey, look, Mr. President, Madam Vice President, we need to just have a talk. Let's really discuss how we've got here. That's what we have to mitigate and rectify and fix.
Yeah, how did we get to this point where like people are like distrusting our institutions just pretty much this much? And I don't want people to like walk away. Look, there's the initial impulse that I have, just like write them off as conspiracy theories, crazy lunatics, serious case of cognitive dissonance. There's like memes all over the place. I see like there is a picture of Trump's ass, and looks like there's a hole in the ass. It says Trump rally, and there's like bunch of white people, it looks like, just walking into his ass. Hey everyone, the rallies are just about to start. I'm so excited for Justice for J6 or whatever. Is this a real picture? Somebody showed up in a Batman costume.
Oh God,
from Christopher Nolan film. But all right, whatever. I guess, bro. But look, there's a way that these people arrived at this point, and we need to like figure out, how did these people arrive at this point, and like how to really get them back. Because unfortunately, they are Americans. They are fucking Americans. And I don't want to say they're my brothers.
I wouldn't take it that
far. But they were created here somehow, and there's something that we need to do to just fucking get them back on the right track, to hold them accountable, and to like fix these issues from like becoming even worse over time, and just to further prevent them from being created all over again. For a lot of people, so for a lot of the Trump supporters who like to scapegoat the immigrants, because like, oh my God, they're taking their jobs or whatever. These corporations are giving the jobs, and of course the corporations are giving the jobs away because like they're doing it for the cheap, instead of actually just blaming the corporations for exploiting people who are coming here to just make a living for themselves. They're trying their very best, just like you. They're leaving a situation in their country. Maybe it's a situation of a combination of socioeconomic. Maybe there's like some drugs, or whether or not we're talking about Afghanistan. I mean, depending on which liberal you talk to, they always like to act like they care about the woman. Okay, sure. You
Of
care about
course, yeah,
you care about the woman.
because they know that the average person may care. So yeah, we got to throw that out there. Like, what about the ladies in that community, man? You know, I know we're writing legislation that actually prevents, actual women's health care and sexual health, but what about the other women? It's like, excuse me. I know we don't
Yeah.
view women professions, whatever that is, as valuable. This is why teachers don't make a lot of money, or most women professions, such as like, or deemed as female professions, such as social work, aren't paid fairly well compared to like masculine professions like engineering. But what about them? They should be treated equally, right? This is
Yeah, yeah.
so
But I mean,
contradictory.
let's take the whole situation in Afghanistan with the Taliban, for example. I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people have concerns about the Taliban, and a lot of people are fleeing that territory. And we have many critics who will come out and talk about it's a bad idea to vacate that area because what about the Taliban? Taliban was growing in numbers with our presence already there. It was
Hmm.
bound to happen. We would just hope that it would not happen, but as soon as we left, everything crumbled. That is one of many reasons why people flee territories and come
Yeah,
to America. And are you just gonna like tell them? I mean, look, put your money where your mouth is. If you're gonna sit here and say like all these immigrants shouldn't be coming over here, we should say no because they're coming up here stealing our jobs and all that. Okay, cool. Then your foreign policy should match what your so-called intentions are when it comes to maintaining the economy domestically speaking. So we went out there, we exacerbated the situation, made it even worse. Taliban grew in numbers. We created that situation. That's how that's how the immigrants pretty much come over
yep.
here. You
That's
want to
how they were
prevent that from
created.
happening? Then don't destabilize regions by going out there, starting all these unnecessary wars and doing all this bullshit, and then wonder, oh my God, oh God is me, man. What's going on with all these immigrants? Look, I don't have any problem with immigrants. But if you're gonna talk about that, you need to have a two-pronged approach than just blankly just saying we just need to keep them out. It's like,
Yeah,
but if you want to keep them out, not that I agree with the conservative position on that, then how do you rehabilitate and stabilize these other regions out there
but
to make
Aaron,
sure that they
but
don't have a need to really come over here?
E, what about the money though, bro? To stabilize areas requires the money, the sweet money. What about it? Do I get anything in return?
I guess, man.
but
Shit.
that ends up being the issue ultimately is that, and this is my opinion. Of course, I can't determine that that's their whole purpose of being in these areas. But other than that, when you look at the history of America and how we destabilize many of nations, look at Latin America as an example, um, and we destabilize these places to quote unquote help them form a democracy, but it usually tends to only be in the scope of what is valued when it comes to pretty much American return on investment, which means that we're only going to go here if they believe in American ideals, and these are the people we're going to put into power. Anybody outside of that, especially like socialist people, yeah, we're going to run them out. Um, Good one is Nicaragua. Yeah, just look down the history of Nicaragua up, and that's a good starting spot. But it's just we're just hypocrites. Like that's kind of how it's coming off. It's like we claim to be all these different things, which I remember when Joey B, aka Joe Biden, got up there and said, "No, America has never interfered with other elections." It's like, excuse me, we haven't since when? Which is kind of funny. It's kind of ironic that we talked about like Russian interference, and it's like, bro, how many elections have we interfered with in these developing nations?
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh
I
well.
mean, if you go back to remarks like with Chris Wallace, I mean, Chris Wallace one time, I mean, he's made some good commentary in one particular instance, but he's made some bad commentary in others, where he spoke about like how if we down if we downsize the military industrial complex, you got to think about the jobs, bro. You got to think about the jobs. What about the jobs, bro? What
Oh
about the
boy.
jobs? Come on,
Yeah,
man.
and,
Fuck out
and
of here.
and unfortunately we have backed ourselves in this type of corner. Because when you look at the military and industrial complex, places like Lockheed, Raytheon, Bell, Boeing, etc., have employed plenty of people. And even just the military itself, like the U.S. Army is like the biggest branch and employs like over 70, like hundreds of thousands of people. So now I will argue that, hey, when it comes to the military, we maybe can put some of those, soldiers to work when it comes to infrastructure projects. It's basically similar to the work that they'll do overseas, but instead it doesn't require them to actually shoot at anybody. Because a lot of combat engineers actually do type of civil works where they put together different things and build certain things in these areas. So maybe that's where we start. Do something like that. Don't give kickbacks or make it beneficial for people like Lockheed to make a boom, 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 bang, bang stuff.
Yep, and essentially, I don't know, man. This is gonna have to be a really big reversal of just like how the U.S. does things. I mean, I'm happy that he withdrew from Afghanistan. It just I wonder if like he's gonna take it the next step and starts withdrawing from other territories. I don't know. Um,
Uh, I don't
we'll
know.
see what Joe Biden does.
Yeah, like, are we going to now start pulling out in these other, like, reducing how many military bases we have across the seas, overseas?
Could be a thing. Yeah. Also, when we talk about Biden, let's talk about Biden with his conversation with Manchin about the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill. Apparently, that conversation didn't go over pretty well.
Oh boy,
Apparently, he
what happened?
failed to get Biden. He failed to get Manchin to agree to the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill during a Oval Office meeting on Wednesday. For me, people familiar with the matter. Now, it, the thing is now, since he failed to convince him, what is going to be the next step
Hey man,
for Joe Biden?
hey, look, all of a sudden, damn, I didn't know, but all of a sudden, your wife and your daughter are under investigation, bro. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, there's a quote that they made say, "I don't think I am alone. I am the lone vote against the $3.5 trillion plan." I am very sure that you're not, Joe Manchin. I'm very sure that you're not. You're just the only one bold enough, you and Kristen Cinema, to actually say that shit. Actually, as a matter of fact, bro, since you want to make those remarks, hey, bro, why don't you put their names out there? Because I know you talking to them. Hey,
Hmm.
man, tell them niggas to stop being such pussies. Hey, bro,
Yeah,
I know you said during our conversation you didn't want to vote for that bill. Stop being a pussy. Put that
yeah.
shit out there.
Throw it out there. Tell your people and tell them straight up. Don't give me this old BS about competitiveness or whatever. Tell the people that you represent that you don't want to help them. You don't believe childcare, expanding Medicare, um, what is this in there? Climate change provisions, because you know say I don't believe in the climate change stuff because Exxon just paid me recently.
And no,
Say
he
it.
wouldn't necessarily say it like that though.
I mean, but
But yeah,
that's the reality. They just paid me recently, so therefore that's where my allegiance is. Tell the people and your
yeah.
constituents that you're paid to represent that that's the case, so they know
And you
what to
know the
do.
hypocrisy of the whole situation is just that, like with Joe Manchin, like going back as far as January, he has called for up to $4 trillion in infrastructure spending, as the Democrats were poised to control Congress. And all of a sudden, he's backtracking.
Yeah. Oh,
The
that's
fuck was up with that?
because, well, I remember I was listening to a video on Jacobin, and I for the sake of me, can't remember the guy's name, but he brought it up because Anna Kasparian was on as well. But he brought up something along the lines that the only reason that a lot of this is getting hung up is mostly behind um, the climate change provisions, because places like ExxonMobil, BP, and all those other oil tycoons, and then of course let's even look at it too. Joe Manchin son runs a oil company, which, let's just keep it real, he still benefits from. It's technically Joe Manchin's company that he allowed his son to run. So he doesn't have any incentive to cut his pockets, pretty much. Which then brings up the overall concern when it comes to these politicians now is, at what point are most of them have some type of conflict of interest? Because if it's a situation where Joe Manchin, him owning oil, or his daughter once being a part of a medical company that created that was creating EpiPens and things like that, at one point does it become where a politician is pretty much not going to ever vote against the interests of the people who are close to him versus the interests of the general population?
Exactly, bro. Like, it's just like whenever I go out to go eat with some of my coworkers / friends, sometimes, like, even though we may be friends, um, it's like, shit, work's gonna come up. That's just the natural progression of sometimes conversations, bro. Sometimes you want to talk shit about people.
Mm-hmm.
You think these motherfuckers ain't going to the dinner table or whatever, or just out to eat wherever the fuck they go to, and they're not talking about that shit. Like, shit, bro. Soon as the sun finds out, like, oh man, there's a bill out there that may specifically target me. You think the motherfuckers ain't talking? You think he's not calling them up being like, hey man, I hear you about to pass a bill that's gonna raise my taxes. Hey
Mm-hmm.
man, what the fuck was up with that shit? He might not phrase it that way, but it's like, come on, dad, don't do that to me, or whatever. It's like, bro, like, he's definitely having these conversations, and even if he's not, just the fact that I can speculate about that is a potential problem. The fact that relationship, that the relationship is there, which you can't help that, the fact that people have kids,
Yeah.
and kids may go on to have businesses or whatever, but can you have a position of authority where that potential exists for somebody to be able to influence you like that? That in and of itself is that is a problem that shouldn't be there at all. And it's like, you should absolve yourself and step down and back away from that position. Not saying that for the son, but if anybody is to take you seriously, you gotta like back out. Like, nah, bro, like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you with these concerns in the back of my head that you're not gonna that somebody's not gonna have to worry about you bending to the will of your kids. And for like any fathers out there, I would totally understand, like, hey man, that's my kid, I'm gonna look out for my kid. That's cool. You want to look out for your kid, but you can't work here. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Go.
It's just that simple. It's like, if you think about this, I'm pretty sure as a lawyer, you can't defend your kid in trial.
No.
I'm pretty sure as a doctor, they wouldn't recommend that you operate on your child or someone close to you, because you will be emotionally invested in that situation. So in that case, how can you be a politician or someone who makes the rules and the laws and have it to where you can actually make laws that may or may not hinder this individual? And I know it's complicated, because it's like, well, how can you really prevent that? Because it's like, well, hell, everybody got a relative or somebody, like you said, people know people, and this is the issues that we're running into in our current political climate, because that is ultimately becoming a problem. So I don't know. And we're seeing it now. But yeah, basically the conversation went along the lines that, and this also comes in an issue when it comes to companies investing in politicians or paying campaign donations and things like that. And how we know how money is associated is, people don't give money without wanting something. You're either going to want a product or more money in return. Like, That's pretty, or you see some type of end result. Even if you give charity, you want to see the end results of that charity. That's just how it goes. And so to say that companies giving money to these politicians is nothing, that's just them being, contributing to campaign donations. That you're just being very woefully ignorant, I think.
Yeah, I'm not particularly concerned about like little $5, $10, $25 donations or whatever. But if somebody's floating you a few grand, yeah, that's a little bit of a concern.
There's some intent. There's some intent there.
Yeah, because there's a power dynamic there that exists. Because like, yeah, I'm gonna give you these few grand. But bro, I'm gonna need you to like hook a brother up or something like that, or some shit like that. Or it's not even necessarily even have to even be that blatant. Sometimes it could just be like, hey man, like I need some exemptions here or there. Some little. I'm trying to rehabilitate my business, and I'm supporting your policies, and you're a very very pro business type of gentleman, and I would really love it to donate to your campaign. And just like I'm hoping that you can just see my point of view or whatever. Like, hey man, like these taxes are out of control, bro. Can you do something about these taxes? It don't even have to be that blatant. It could be something subtle. It's like, oh shit, yeah, like, yeah, here's a few grand or whatever. Like, hey man, I got you, bro. You my boy. I'm gonna look out for you. You support my campaign. I'll see what I can do. Here's a few grand.
Yeah,
like, it could be something like that.
It's textbook quid pro quo. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's just how it goes. And the fact that we believe these things don't exist, we're really just being like ignorant about it. Like, and so again, that's what they kind of brought up was that, with that being said, Joe Manchin recently, when you look at his campaign donations, which I don't know if you can even pull them up right now, but when you look at his who's donated to his campaign, yeah, oil and gas is like one of his top contributors. And hell, even the dude that was the one that got caught snitching on himself, who was like a lobbyist.
I think it was an ExxonMobil lobbyist.
I think it was an Exxon. Yeah, he's a lobbyist, and he even said, "Yeah, we're talking to Joe Manchin like almost every week." Christian Cinema.
Oh, okay. So, I'm actually. You talking about Joe Manchin's campaign contributions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm pulling up campaign community fundraising from 2017 to 2022. God damn, bro, that's a lot of money. All right, so he has raised $10,696,984. Spent about $8 million of that. Cash on hand, he's got about close to $4 million. So let's see, who is his top industries, securities and investments.
Wall Street.
$1 million. Individuals have contributed over 900,000, and political action committees 95, lawyers, firms 826,000. That's from 2017 to 2022. So let's break that down. Leadership PACs, real estate is donated almost 500,000 to him. That is a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of money just to say, hey, yeah, make sure housing doesn't change as we know it.
Joe Manchin is a top recipient from the following industries in 2021 and 2022. His number one, coal mining.
Of course.
And so he has a lot of number ones. God damn. So coal mining is number one. For-profit education is number one. Just mining is number one. Natural gas transmission and distribution. He is the number one. Shit. Oil and gas, he's number one. Now electric utilities, he's number two. Medical devices and supplies, number three. God damn, he has a lot of number ones on here. Shit.
Mm-hmm. And so that tells you everything you need to know about a candidate is, hey, who paid them recently? That kind of points in the direction of who they are as a candidate.
Finance and real estate, they paying him a lot of dough. This is based off of shit. Yeah. So it's reason to be concerned. Like, damn, bro, they give me all this money. What do they want? What do they want in return? Because this information is publicly available. and they're looking at this and thinking like, oh, okay, he's getting all this money for his industry, so maybe I can get in a little bit on that action.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's willing to take some bread from me, and what can I get out of it?
And
Shit.
yeah, that's kind of just how it goes, and that ends up being a problem because you see now that he's openly obstructing justice, uh, openly obstructing any kind of major sweeping changes overall. So there you go, Joe Manchin in a nutshell. And apparently, Joe Biden, of course, I don't think is strong enough of a leader to get somebody like him in order. So I don't know. I don't know if we just do public shaming. You know,
I think we're pretty much at a point where now we're having to fix a problem that actually should have been fixed a long time ago, and really, he is a liability. Um, and this is the wrong time for them to try to like course correct. I will say, but it's past time for them to now get that dude in line. And if they can't get that dude in line, bro, you need to start talking about getting that motherfucker out of there. Like
yeah,
legit getting that motherfucker out of there, because like this whole bullshit about them gaining control of Congress or whatever, and like him backtracking on some shit that he said back in January that we should be able to call for up to, what was the number, 5 trillion,
yeah,
4 or 5 trillion in
yeah. About
in
$4 trillion of spending for
yeah, 4 trillion.
infrastructure.
That's what it is.
Like,
Yeah,
why
four
can't?
trillion.
But he gets a 3.5 and doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's past time. Like this was foreseeable already. You already knew who he was, so it's way past time for y'all to have done something about this. And it's unfortunate, but y'all might have to just cut y'all loss and say, nah, man, fuck this, bro. Like this dude right here is derailing everything that we're
oh,
trying to like do.
I would
Gotta get rid of this
openly.
nigga now.
I don't know when his campaign is up, but him and Cinema, get him. Anyone who's not willing to really go along with improving the livelihood of the average person or just people in general. I don't really. Oh, damn it! I ran out. Um, I don't really care about the wealthy like that because I'm like, screw them. I'm pretty sure some people are like, "Oh, that's not nice." It's like, hey, look, I don't care. Like, even if you took, I ain't gonna say take, but because I know how people associate that, but even if they were not able to receive half of the wealth that they earn, they will still be wealthier than everyone. Period. Like, that's just the reality. But I guess that's the thing. Is like, yeah, you gotta get them up out of there, man. Like, campaign against him when elections come up because he's also one of the ones. He's gonna be one of the reasons why well, Dems won't be able to hold the House or hold the Senate for long because of that. I need some
Yeah,
minds.
exactly. And that what's going to be your excuse? Oh man, we tried our best or whatever. Like, it's going to be this whole like mental gymnastics of talking about like what his accomplishments were. Joe Biden's, but it's going to circle right back to, but y'all still didn't get it done. And I sat here and I came out, I showed up, I
Mm-hmm.
voted for you, and y'all basically just like spit in my face, and y'all didn't do everything that y'all potentially could. So why the fuck should I believe y'all now? Like it's pretty much, it's gonna make the lesser of two evil arguments just like pretty much mute. And
I mean,
it it, it
it should already be if you really want to keep it real. Because can we honestly be honest and finally say that we don't really have two parties? We kind of have one singular party, and one is just slightly less bad than the other.
yeah, exactly, bro.
And before anybody twists that, it's like we just think about like all of them believe in the ideals of corporation first. I know we like to say that, which is just kind of funny because even for the far right people or Republicans, they even fall for those who appear to be populist because they realize these issues do exist. Now, of course, I question them a little bit further on how they rationalize these things in their head, but that's another conversation. Um, I don't know. It's just weird because the fact that somebody like Joe Manchin can exist in a Democratic Party tells you everything about the Democratic Party ideology. At least to me. Is that fair to say, or am I reaching?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they basically created an environment that it was acceptable for somebody like him to exist. So they are reaping what they sow. Um, and we're just going to be put back in that same situation where, like, oh shit, show up for us, bro. I'm already getting the fucking emails. I was saying like Nancy Pelosi. Oh, Eric, I need you to donate a gift to me or whatever to like fight against the Republicans who are vying to like return to power in 2022. Like, man, look at
Yeah,
Eric,
yeah,
man.
it's like, bro, we're done. But this is also why a lot of people check out after a while. They're like, man, fuck it. Nothing's going to fundamentally change. So what's the point? And this is the issue that, again, I look back at the January 6th situation and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. When you look at how polarized our politics have gotten over the years, it all makes sense. Um, Again, I'm not justifying it at all, but I do want to analyze. I think understanding how we got to that point is essential if you want to ever prevent it. But is if we don't ever address the fundamental issues that people have to deal with the day to day, then you may have a successful one further down the line.
Yeah, and I don't want to make the mistake of saying like I'm saying like don't go out and vote or whatever. But at the same time, I can say like I perfectly understand why people check out of this shit
Yeah, I
because
understand.
it's just fucking bullshit, and it makes it harder for people to like trust and depend upon you if like you're just doing the exact same shit over and
Yeah,
over and over. And it's like that's why niggas don't fucking like neither one of y'all. That's why you end up with fucking people um like Nicki Minaj criticizing both of the damn party because both of y'all full of shit.
yes,
She was kind of a
it's.
little bit right.
I mean,
So
to an
shit.
extent, like to an extent, she's right. Like all of a sudden, we do care about healthcare. All of a sudden, because it interrupted business. And with that being said, you can't have that. So now, yes, healthcare important. Let's get it out. Let's do it for free because it's actually more cost effective to do it now than it is to you know wait around and see.
Mm,
Which is just another capitalist way of doing it. It's like, oh yeah, we'll give it for free because we need people to go back to these jobs. Which
yeah,
is
exactly,
actually,
bro.
yeah, it was funny because I think I saw a report earlier. Oh, let me pull it. What, I think I sent it to you, didn't I? That a restaurant closed down because basically all the employees quit. Did I send it to you? I don't think I did, but I saw it earlier.
I'm looking through my tweets right now, so I got like a few of them up here. You gave me one about Chris Rock,
Oh yeah,
Superman role that never happened.
let's see how to do to employees quitting. Uh, Hold up. Which of course is happening more and more, and we've talked about that before. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it was a Georgia restaurant forced to close after entire staff quits. Post sign on front of the door.
That sucks. So I
I
can
mean,
say that does kind of suck.
but here's the thing: is like, who's this suck for more? Like, because the thing is I get it. Companies want to say, well, we need employees, and it's like, bro, you ain't been treating your employees well, like, at all, and now you're upset that they
Mm,
finally said fuck it. Like,
yeah, yeah, because it's a shitty situation all around. I mean, similar to that Fox News interview about that guy who was crying. He was crying about like oh my god,
oh
I can't get people in here um to like be able to even offer them higher wages or whatever. Like I don't have the chance to really like talk to them. Like nigga, you should
you,
have you should have did that shit before instead of
yeah,
waiting until now to be like, well, but you
Yeah,
know,
it's like
I
it's
could give you some more of my riches, but you know,
yeah,
you never gave me a chance. No, nigga, you
no,
had a chance at the beginning. Don't try to like cry now, nigga,
yeah,
because now niggas don't want to work for you.
yeah, it's like trying to save your relationship as you know, in my case, as she's walking out the door. Oh, baby, please, I promise, just give me another chance. I swear I get it together. It's like, no, you had years to get it together. You chose not to. So this is the results
Yeah,
of this. It's like
yeah, fuck you. Yeah,
exactly. It's
yeah, fuck
like
you.
you can't just all of a sudden say now that shit has hit the fan. Now all of a sudden you want to act like you would have done better.
Full of
Oh man.
fucking shit, bro. I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. I am totally cool with him coming to the right conclusions eventually. But god damn, bro, don't try to make yourself seem like you're a fucking victim, my nigga. Like
Yeah,
you was just like full of shit
yeah,
as the rest of them
yeah,
niggas, bro.
because you were along for the ride like everyone else. But when people finally said, "Nah, dog, I can't do it," then it became a problem because you realize it started hitting your pockets, and that's the problem. And it should never come to that. You shouldn't have to make someone potentially, economically disenfranchise them for them to get the message. Like that's just that's so weird. I don't know. It's oh god, it's so funny. One thing I can say is with old school games, man, there's a curve there.
Yes, that's kind of the dilemma that people would have. Oh my god, is older games harder than newer games?
It's debatable. Like, it
Yeah,
depends. Sure, they had to have a bigger challenge curve, I guess you could say, because they were shorter, and people had to justify spending, $50. But oh boy, some don't ever age, don't age all the, well all the way. So
not at all.
shit, I don't even remember where I had to go. But I don't know, man. I was damn. I would say this. I'm hoping there could be some type of agreement on this reconciliation bill. Reconciliation. I'm sorry, saying all wrong.
Yeah,
And
budget reconciliation.
yeah, and the reason being is because there's provisions in there that are necessary. Again, just the free healthcare alone is a benefit for especially working mothers. Like, how do we expect people to participate in the economy that we want them to do, but we make it pretty much a obstacle for them to find childcare because childcare is not cheap, like at all. And give the idea to a lot of people, the cheapest childcare you probably can find is maybe $800 a month. And to give context, on minimum wage you make about 900. So,
Which is a fucking garbage ass amount of money. You're basically paying just for the fucking
yeah,
healthcare, bro.
yeah, you
So
pay, yeah,
like, what's up with that?
you pay just to send your kid to school, and um that's not including needing health care. That's not including food, transportation, other bills, all that stuff. So that it ends up becoming a bigger problem than people are willing to admit. Because hell, I think even us, I think I found a place that was it terribly expensive, but even then, I still pay about close to $700 a month for childcare.
Jesus. Yeah, that is a lot of money, bro. Shit. Just for healthcare, man.
Yeah,
It's fucking
that's it.
ridiculous. I mean, to Nicki Minaj's point, I mean, shit. Hey, look, she said that about healthcare.
Yeah,
I mean, childcare is also very important. So, shit.
yeah, and like if you think about healthcare, shit, that's what I pay about 300. Yeah, I want to say about $300 a month.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy amount of money, but I mean, shit, you ain't got a choice.
No, because you're not going to question how much you have to pay for healthcare because it's just needed. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you might question it, but it's like shit, bro. Like I ain't got a choice. It is what it
Oh well,
is.
yeah, that's
You
a
got to
better
do it.
statement. It's just weird, man. Like there's a lot of things that need to be re reevaluated on as a what do we prioritize as a society. Again, I think I told you this before. I'm like, I get in some cases there needs to be some type of market based economy potentially. Like if you want to get like clothing or something like that. Now we can have a bigger discussion on affordability of these items. But when it comes to essentials, then no. There should be it shouldn't be a situation where you have to consider rationing out certain things just to have essentials. Like you should be able to afford things like food, shelter, so on and so forth. We know the essentials.
Yeah, the bare minimum, bro. The bare minimum. That's what you
Yeah,
fucking need.
yeah, and which is what the floor is. That's for those people who are talking about like the new dealers and things like that. Yes, the new which that was an argument one time somebody made on I think it was CNN where they were saying like the minimum wage is not supposed to be a living wage. And it's like, yes, it is. Did you not listen to FDR's speech when he first was talking about it, or did you just bypass that?
It's not supposed to be a living wage. Like
Yeah,
then what is the point of wages? Like what is the point of the distinction? Like, oh yeah, it's not supposed to be a minimum. The minimum wage is not supposed to be a living wage. So why specifically wages based upon what you choose to be the these particular professions that are worthy of minimum wage or a decent wage? Why are they particularly good but not the other ones?
yeah,
So fast food's not worthy. Doctors, maybe they're a little worthy or whatever, even though the fast food people are the ones that actually make your food, which the food is also what you need to be able to live off of. I mean, you
yeah.
can't really be a doctor without or a human being without food. And we know how y'all motherfuckers was acting whenever the
Ooh,
pandemic started. And y'all was like, oh my God, we need food, all this bullshit. Like, nah, nigga, y'all niggas need food. Y'all niggas
yeah.
need food. Y'all just pick
Well,
and choose.
yeah, and I mean that is a good question because like, what is it a minimum of then? Like, because last time I checked, it's a minimum standard of living, not a minimum of anything else. So, what are we talking about?
I don't know, bro.
Oh no, that's kind of weird. Like I just thought about that. I was like, wait, hold up. No, it's a minimum wage because that's the minimum amount that is required for a person to be able to live.
You would think so, but these niggas have some weird ass distinction between the two, which makes no fucking sense.
It
It's
doesn't.
just, oh my God.
It doesn't. So, and again, we're continuing to see more and more people just quit their job and just say, "Screw it, I'll deal with whatever else comes." And I don't fully blame them. I'm like, I get it. Uh, and I guess that's another thing I would have critiques about our current administration as well. Is like they eventually there has to be someone in there who are saying, "Hey, look, we can't continue the way we're going." Like that should just be the reality. Like, yeah, we can't continue down this path. Otherwise, this path is not gonna make it.
Nope.
And
Not at all, bro.
but well, but I guess on a funny note, I'll leave out on this. So, what's your thoughts on Chubby Thor?
Ah, fuck, man. Bruh, he is so well, his hair is not. His body type's slightly a little bit wider than what I'm used to. But hey, look, hey, I fucks with it. I'm okay with it, bro. Like, don't get it twisted, bro. That nigga will whoop your motherfucking ass, bro. That dude got some muscle mass under there. And y'all thinking just because dude fat, he ain't gonna beat that fucking ass. Shit.
Oh
Hey,
my
bro,
god!
I
So
done known quite a few chubby ass dudes who got muscle mass under them.
so
Don't get it twisted.
it's kind of funny because you got people who are like really, really, really upset. And of course, it's like your boy, the quartering and people like that who are like, "Oh my
There we
god."
go. The quartering.
You know what? Sometimes I tune in just to laugh, um, because certain people you have to just you gotta listen to it to think like, "Oh shit, they're serious," you know. And I remember I almost got sucked in that little trap of like being like, "Oh my god, my my entertainment is not what I used to, what I've known and blah blah blah." But it's like as time goes on, I'm like, you know what? I don't care like I used to. It's whatever. Now if it's just a bad story, then I'm gonna call it out on that. But the fact that something doesn't look like what it once was, like, isn't that the point? Like, don't things evolve as time goes on?
Yeah. Oh my god. Uh, I was trying to like look that shit up. Yeah, I see the picture right here of
Hmm.
yeah, the little thick Thor.
Yeah,
Save that beard, but hey, man, look, hey, he can't accomplish the look without the beard. So, hey, it's all good with me.
yeah,
I don't really care. Shit, I'm gonna play the fuck out that game, bro. When I saw that shit, I said, "Oh fuck, yeah, I buy a PS5 just for that if you can find one available."
yeah.
But
That's that. Good luck with that part. That's the issue right there. But yeah, apparently, people were like, he needs to look like, I guess, the Chris Hemsworth version, and it's like, I
yeah,
think that's actually the interpretation. That's not even because apparently, when you look at like the history of Thor and how they told his story, he's always been kind of on a heavier side, I guess you could say.
yeah, but man,
So
people have gotten like spoiled by that shit, spoiled by like that version of Thor, bro. And it's like, bro, like, it's like I don't know, man. Even as a gay dude, bro, like even when I'm looking at him, I'm like, yeah, I hate, bro, but you ain't my type. But sure, I guess if that's what you into, um, and yeah, he's a strong character in the MCU. But there's all kinds of different interpretations of Thor. I mean, I think we spoke about it in our private conversations. But there's that show Ragnarok.
mhm.
Then there's the other show. I'm blanking on it. Well, it's not really a show; it's a movie. Um, but yeah, those are two totally different interpretations, or not totally different, but they're slight different interpretations of it.
Yeah.
Um, and in many respects, they are better. Oh, Mortal. That's the movie. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, I
they
do.
have different interpretations of Thor, and in many respects, they're actually better, more nuanced characters. Shows some of the
Yeah,
complexities of being Thor, and especially an angry Thor in the New Age.
yeah. I mean, that's cool. Like, I don't know, man. It's like people be start tripping about just things that are again like it reminds me of when the new Star Wars series did start and people were saying, "Oh no, there's a black guy as a stormtrooper. That's not right." That was a thing. I remember when Daniel Craig was actually cast to be James Bond back in like what 06, 07, something like that. Whenever that movie came out, there was gripes about him being a blonde haired James Bond because James Bond's always been brunette. Why are we making him blonde now? It's like really like this is the argument. Like why are we
That's
upset
the hill
behind
that they're
this?
gonna die on, bro.
Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird though. Um, and again, we've heard many other things like that. Like even with Star Wars again. Oh my God, there's a woman who's the main character. It's like okay, it's like okay, or even again James Bond again. Apparently he's co-starring alongside a black lady, and there was speculation that she was going to be the new James Bond. A woman can't be James Bond. It's like okay. I mean, sure, maybe we can. I I don't get it. It's like why can't she be a spy too? I mean, it's possible.
Hey, yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, now she can go out there and be a horn dog or whatever like that. and like fuck all kind of men. I'm like,
Hey,
okay,
you know
we
what?
kind of like we kind of moving up in society a little bit. You know, we just like putting them out there. All right, cool.
I think people will flip. Oh my gosh, she's such a whore. It's like, oh, you mean, yeah, like James Bond. Even if you want to call her Jane Bond, sure. But yes.
Yeah. Women are such flowers that need to be preserved, but men, they're such dogs. Like,
Yeah, they're dogs. Screw men. They ain't shit. That's fine. Oh,
yeah.
that's funny though. Oh my god, people are weird. But yeah, apparently that's been the big gripe about in this time in the gaming sphere, that Thor is not, you know, strong looking or whatever that means. So yeah, fun times.
Yeah, Thor looking thick now. He thick.
I mean, it does bring up a conversation of like male body types, because I know we talk about it in the female spec realm, which is necessary. Definitely, I'm not even going to try to take away from that. But I mean, as men, yeah, we all deal with it too. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's ever talked about as much, because I don't. One thing I can, in my experience, is that, you know, some women are a little bit more, I guess you could say, liberal when it comes to body types. Now, I don't know about in the LGBTQ community. I heard some gay dudes can be really, really harsh.
It can be. I
Yeah,
mean, you got your types.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think a guy's body type generally ever stopped him from being able to date, because there's other things that people may look for in a guy versus a woman. You know, is just based on her beauty. Like, if that's not there, then that's it. She's not really worth your time.
Oh no, that very much exists on our side.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
That
Oh,
very
okay.
much exists.
All right. See,
That
look,
very much
I'm.
exists.
Hey, I'm learning.
Yeah, we got that problem also as well. Uh,
So
but hey, man,
yeah,
we
but
can
so
go ahead and check out of here.
yeah.
We gonna check out. Well, what you got, bro?
No, I mean, that was pretty much it there. So I don't know. We'll see where this posts. This is the first, I guess you could say, a first attempt. Try to see how this whole streaming stuff goes. I gotta give me a different headset though. I don't know how well this mic sounds, but yeah, we'll get it all worked out.
Yeah, it's fine. Well,
Yeah,
at least I think it's fine. But you know,
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be all right. We all good. So shit, we go ahead and cut it here, and kind of go from there. And
all right, to everybody out there, we love you, and don't be stupid.
damn.
And do your best. Ask questions, but also don't pretend to like ask questions while also being a victim.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, all of that. Yeah, I'm just asking questions, bro. But
I'm just asking questions. I'm asking the hard hitting questions, bro. It's like,
oh
bro,
man,
like don't go out there and put them questions out there thinking that niggas ain't go like reply to you. Just like how you got a right to put something out there, they have the right to do that shit also as well. Now, some of their responses is kind of bullshit. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean,
hey,
that's how it goes. So yes, anytime you do throw something out, if it's not correct, yes, people will let you know. I'm sorry. That's just
people
how
are
it goes.
assholes. Yeah,
So,
people are assholes. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
all right, man. But yeah, we up out, folks.